We've all heard of the butterfly effect. Something little that happened way in the past that led to big impacts in today's world. But for me, I can actually pinpoint the moment when I rewind all the way back to the beginning. This is my grandmother, and this is her sketchbook. Here's the one that she was holding in the photo. Exactly 40 years ago, she made this sketch somewhere around here, a little bit north of where I live in Anchorage, Alaska. She'd make these little field sketches everywhere she went, capturing everything from penguins to wombats, and just about everything in between. I'm sure taking a photo would have been an easier way to capture the moment, but she would just wander off in search of a good rock to sit on and would watch the world turn and sketch. And she'd come back with a single page to remember it all by. Some of my earliest memories are actually sitting by her legs as she sketched some masterpiece above me, and I was scribbling away on my little notebook below. 2 very different pages, but it was like we shared the same language. And as a dyslexic kid, I loved that this was a language that I couldn't misspell. She left behind over 6,000 sketches that captured a place so well that they'll only line up when you are exactly where she was to make it, which has turned them into some cross between a treasure map, a coloring book, and geocaching, and a little bit of bushwhacking. But it's all worth it, because if I can follow in her footsteps and find out where she was and make the same sketch of the same thing with the same materials, then for a moment, it's almost like we were painting again together. And it's one of the wildest feelings. It's basically a time machine made out of paper. But the more I see in the news about the floods and heat waves and fires and all the ways the world is changing, the more worried I am about finding these sketches. I mean, the sketches will be there, but the places she sketched might not be. So what do you do when it becomes a race against time and climate? And so that's how I ended up a few hours away from home and the kids with that sketch of Matanuska Glacier. So I could focus on getting it perfect and finding and capturing that sketch without any interruptions.
Max.
Oh, hey Alex. Sorry.
Yeah, you're on a mission.
I'm trying to find my grandma's sketches. She left all of these sketches in her sketchbook.
Oh, cool.
And one of them was right here of this glacier.
Oh, wow.
Exactly 40 years ago today. So I'm hoping to find out exactly where she stood, and then I'm gonna sketch the same thing in the same place exactly 40 years apart, but it's kind of a little harder than I thought it might be.
Yeah.
Actually, you know about glaciers.
Sure.
That's like your thing. What's some cool stuff about glaciers I should know?
Let's start with what it is. There's 2 things we need for a glacier. High up in the mountains, we need to have more snow falling than melting. And then there needs to be enough snow that eventually it flows under its own weight.
Wait a second. What do you mean flows? Like ice is a solid, right?
Well, there's sort of both, right? They're solid. If you walk up to it, it's very hard. It's ice, right? And the top of the glacier is actually very brittle. That's why we see crevasses at the top of the glacier there. We can see cracking where the ice breaks. But the core of the glacier is much more plastic. Think of it almost like a Snickers bar, where if you pull a Snickers bar apart, the chocolate's gonna crack, but the caramel and nougat in the middle kind of stretches, right? And that's not gonna break. Well, that's like the plastic middle of the glacier. All that ice that's under a lot of pressure, that's just gonna flow downhill, just like the middle of that Snickers bar.
So what do you see when you look out of this stuff?
So I can see all different kinds of glaciers here, actually. So here we have the Valley Glacier in front of us, flowing down the valley, carving this big U. We have cirque glaciers. We have rock glaciers. We have other alpine glaciers. And even where we see vegetation and forest, there's still glacial ice underneath.
What? So like a sneaky glacier?
It's a sneaky glacier. Yeah, they can be quite sneaky.
So sneaky or not, I heard Alaska has about 616 named glaciers, but almost 100,000 in the state. So do people care?
Well, there's lots of reasons people should care about glaciers. I mean, They're super cold. They're fun to be on. They're really beautiful. These big giant boulders that we see all around the country were put there by glaciers. Big lakes, like the Great Lakes, were put there by glaciers. If you live in the Northeast, places like Long Island and Cape Cod were put there by glaciers. A lot of really fertile agricultural land put there by a glacier. Also, 2 billion people need glaciers for fresh water, and glaciers hold 69% of all the fresh water on the planet. And they're really pretty places to come visit and to sketch, as your grandmother found out.
Hold on. Now, let me just rewind right there, because if you're like me, then you did not fully understand the gravity of what he just said. Probably because he wasn't using terms in pizza, which is how all statistics are supposed to be done. But if this pizza represents all the water on Earth, then this much is too salty for us to do anything with. And so this much represents all the fresh water on the planet. You know, fresh water, the stuff that we need to grow food with, or that makes this planet so special, or, you know, that we literally need to live. Anyway, over half of all of the fresh water we have on the planet is currently stored in ice. And almost all of that banked, pure, super important fresh water is currently on the wrong side of that equation.
So how different is something like this gonna be from when my grandma sketched it in '85?
Well, did she take any pictures?
My grandpa did, yeah, he took all of these.
You can start by trying to find some of these spots.
Okay.
Follow me now, there is somewhere I want to go. You know me well, and that is how it is, it is, it is. You don't know how this came to be.
I hadn't found where my grandmother had made her sketch, but the glacier was still here, although the photos and sketches were showing me that there are some pretty big changes. In pizza terms, it's not too much of a change at the bottom, almost like somebody just took a tiny bite. But there's also been a similar loss over the entire surface. I'm just hoping this is a deep dish glacier. I only had a few more kid-free hours left, and I was getting desperate to find this location and capture a sketch before I had to go home. It felt like I needed to make the perfect painting now, or I'd never get another chance. Any idea where this one might be? This must be higher up.
Yeah, it's considerably, it's probably the next one over. I went to high school there in Anchorage, so I would come in from back to home country, come by here, and late back then, September was almost winter, and you would see the height of the glacier was remarkably different than from now. Now it's just flat laying in the rocks. Back then, the ice was high.
Wilson is from Nebezna, a few miles down from the Nebezna Glacier, which feels almost gone. But he grew up listening to the Medicine People's trails, one of which passes through here.
No matter how you look at it, we lost our glaciers far faster and sooner than down here. So I watched this leaving, but it was never like something that I was happy about. Just kind of think to myself, how come I got to watch a glacier die? Why is it that's going to be like that? So back home, it happened quick, so there was none of that long-term grief. Just went up and evaporated and ran down the river and turned the rivers into giant rivers. And then that was it. But here it's just on and on and on. Tough to watch.
This one sketch felt so special because it connected 2 generations. But Wilson had stories that connected 200 generations to this place.
The Western world life is all about getting. And on our side of the table, life is all about giving. And there are other lessons. There are lessons like your language has to move with the time. Glacier speak is not the same as river speak, which is not the same as mountain speak, which is not the same as swamp speak, which is not the same as salmon talk, which is not the same as caribou talk. They all have different ways of being a part of your lifestyle. It's up to you to learn it.
Another language that you couldn't misspell. But I was worried that what I was doing wasn't what I was supposed to in the face of these big changes. All I was doing is following in her footsteps to watch the world turn and then come away with a single sketch.
No, it's just that your grandmother, whether or not she knew it, realized it, or even cared, your grandmother just knew she was part of that place. Good enough. She was called, as the old people would say, and she answered. She did what she supposed to do, and when she left it up to you, you're supposed to do what you're supposed to do, irregardless. I did what I'm supposed to do. Not as good as I should, but I didn't have a book. Well, I better get rolling. Yeah.
I still hadn't found out where my grandmother had sketched, but I was feeling a whole lot less lost after talking to Wilson. Like I had remembered what it was all about. As a kid sketching by my grandmother's feet, it wasn't about capturing a place. It was about sharing it with somebody.
I did it. I see a glacier. Yeah, I found someone moving.
Nice. But I need your help finding a sketch.
Oh, it's been a ride. I think I have survived, but I don't know if without your love. Oh, it's been a ride. I think I have survived, but I don't know if without your love.
You think so?
Yeah.
Maybe. This is definitely the spot. Because those mountains line up and this tree lines up, which means we're just looking for a spot where she would have sat, like a big rock. Oh yeah, no, that one could definitely be it. Let's see. Is this it? Oh my gosh, this is totally where she sat. Look, like a big wide flat spot. This is perfect. So she would have had this right here and been looking out over that. What do you think of that? Do you want to make a sketch?
Yeah. I want to paint with the paintbrush.
With a paint? Oh, that's a great idea.
How do you say? Meet you in the long grass. Something good at long last. And we're away. Next to me, I found you by the old tree. Something we can both see. And we're away. Oh, let's run away and not know where we are going to. Let's go far today and it's all gonna be wonderful.
I used to think of the butterfly effect only as little actions that happened long ago. But after trying to be present in these places, I'm seeing that those little moments that are gonna make a big difference are happening all the time, all around us. And all it takes is doing what you're supposed to do.
You've seen it all before, and you've knocked on all the doors, but tomorrow is a funny looking one. Oh, everything is about to change, but I say, bring it closer to me. Oh, it's coming soon, like the spinning of the moon in In truth, it is already happening. Think back to the start when we sang with bolder hearts, and the darkness wasn't even bothering. Oh, everything is about to change, but I say, bring it closer to me. Bring the storm and the blows and everything it knows, and I say, bring it closer to me. Oh, hope it was a bird that flew till it was heard and landed in a corner of her mind. Oh, I'll get what I'll get, and we ain't seen nothing yet, and no one has ever glanced the other side. Oh, everything is about to change, but I'd say, bring it closer to me. Bring the time and the space and the lost forgotten place, and I say, bring it closer to me.
That's the glacier we painted over there.
Sure is. Now we just gotta find our way back home.